at this point, we had to share a packet of pads.
So who gets what? Yeah.
So you use the pieces that you can sparingly because we might have to share with the next person. And I think as far much back with that memory, that's the first time I remember that's what poverty does to a person who can't afford sanitary pads. The correlation is just wow.
Right.
So imagine the number of people who have to think, because in the slums you have a 20 shilling, that's what we used to say, a 20 shilling budget for your day. So if you're making 100 shillings, that 20 shillings should be able to take you throughout that whole week.
Right.
So if you're a girl and you get an emergency of you need it's your periods, what's 20 shillings going to give you? And moving out of that and being in the space that I am now, and being in the space where now I have a company and I, deal in pads, I come to learn that we sell a packet of pads which has easily 10 pieces, and then to that shopkeeper in the slum, they open it up and then they sell piece by piece by piece to that lady who can't afford.
Because of course the Kadogo market is alive and kicking, obviously.
So it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
It never ends.
Right. And also because even for the shopkeeper, he's trying to find a way to cater to his clientele, and he knows they can't buy the entire packet.
Exactly.
So why not just split it up?
Yeah.
Oh, that is quite terrible. Still also just looking at your profile, I mean, first of all, congratulations for what you've established and how far you've come. I think it's, it's such a feat, honestly. Even from, when you talk about your background. And it also just brings me to the issue of education at this point. Obviously, I want to assume, right, with what you've set up, you have managed to kind of either borrow, kind of see, kind of, exchange with others who are in this space across the globe, right, in whatever capacity. Do you feel that sexual and reproductive education is still in its infancy in this country? And what are the developed countries really doing?
Oh, wow. So I had not been in this space ever before since 2021. And when we, my friend and I, when we started the company, I thought, this is going to be so easy because the first thing we're doing is bringing a quality product for an affordable price. Women they know this. This is something so beautiful. Like, if I bring you something that's quality and affordable, you will pick it up very fast.
Right.
That was quite a shocker. In 2022, when we brought when we started selling in the market, we started selling in April. And it took us 10 months to finish what we had brought.
Oh, wow.
This was brought purely by lack of education. There's not much information out there around what a good quality product looks like.
Right.
That in itself, so when you walk in the market, normally you're given a packet that is full. So this is what you'd probably tell a shopkeeper. Hi, I'm from Binti, we're selling Binti pads. It has 8 pads and 2 panty liners, and it's going to go for maybe 50 shillings and you'd sell it at 60 shillings. And then they'll tell you, but I don't know this one. But my ladies have not asked me for this one. But me as a shopkeeper who's probably a woman, I've never heard about that. I've never used it. And I don't know if you're bringing me something that might bring issues to me. And so we sat down and realized with that we would never sensitize on what a good quality product is.
Because they don't know what a good product is, right?
Thank you.
Right.
So we sat back, realized that if we go to that market with an open pad and do that kind of an education, we are not only educating that shopkeeper, but even on that road, there's a lady who would be, okay, and what is that? And then we do that education. That spun out all the way to schools. So we got invited into schools to do just small talks here and there, and you find a teacher saying, we gave you such a small time to come and do this kind of education. We would like to sit down with you and plan on a day where you can have a full day to come do a curriculum on menstrual health, on hygiene, on disposal of pads. In fact, even when we're just at the back trying to get onto the stage, a teacher will tell you, please remind them how to dispose of a pad.
Oh, wow. So here you are. I mean, because when you talk about menstrual hygiene and management, all this falls under now the umbrella of sexual and reproductive education.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to, you know, rear your head through that, right?
Yes.
Because you're competing for that space.
Yes. So we had to realize at a very early onset, how do we separate ourselves from what is in the market? Because what is in the market is either you have a really good quality product that is going for so expensive, or you have just a low quality product going for cheap. And the bit here is, how do you purport to be the person coming in between, yet we can't tell if you're high or low with your price point, even if it's so favorable to them. I won't use it because I'm used to the low quality or I'm used to the high quality. So we had to really sensitize, do training. It's so shocking that, because when we do, assume this is a pad, right? So we open it up this way, and then you get to see the flesh or the top sheet. So we literally open it up, show you inside what the material is made of, and you hear a lady say, I've used pads for maybe 20 years. I don't know what it's made of.
Right.
I have no context or idea.
So you don't even know the level of toxicity, you don't know the chemicals, you don't know what kind of material is on the inside.
You're just using.
Right.
You hear a story of, so I use pads, and for my entire life, I just remember always having wetness around that. It's not normal.
It's not normal,
No,
but you think it's normal,
because that's how whatever has been there, whatever you've been using, that's all you know. You woke up, you started your menses, you were told this is a pad to use, and you continued.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When we talk about menstrual dignity, Lorna, you know, what compromises have you seen girls especially making just to gain access to period products? Because even for you growing up, when you talk about the stories between you and your cousins, it could have easily turned ugly, that you'd have to do something in order for you to help yourself at that time of the month. And so when you look at some of the compromises, things that women would never ever bring themselves to, but just because they don't have access to this.
I think there's no day at my workplace that we've not had a reach out from a girl or a lady or a mother asking us for pads. Just, you know, help me with pads. As far back as I can remember when we started, I used to get cases of just different women saying, this would be in a context of, say, teachers. And a teacher would say, I have had 10 girls drop out this year because they got pregnant. And I'm wondering, so what's the correlation here?
Right.
And this is, I'd say even Kitui. That was the last place I remember so vividly. And we had taken a group of ladies there who had gone to donate, and these pads were going to last these girls a year. And I remember that teacher almost breaking down and saying, I've lost so many girls to pregnancies because I don't have the resources to buy enough pads to cater to these girls. And the only way that these girls are able to get pads is, since they come from a very poverty-stricken home, it's easier for them to literally go to the next boda person or to go to the next guy right there, and in exchange of, hey, give me 100 shillings to go do my stuff, you find yourself in a compromising situation, which is essentially sexual harassment or sexual abuse, and then get either infections or end up in, you know, pregnancy. So such cases have been so rampant. I think moving on to the bit where you even have a whole conversation around period babies, which are brought about by a lady trying to get pads and found themselves in a compromising situation where they got pregnant.
Can you imagine? And I think even the baby is not the worst part. The worst part is now you have a disease.
Thank you.
And then what next? And you're only what, 16 years old? You have HIV/AIDS?
Where do you even start?
Yeah.
I don't even think you know that you have HIV until complications come up way later in life. You almost stop your life for a packet of pads. It's surreal to think that.
I think when you paint the picture that way, a lot of people now get it. That you don't understand the value of sanitary towels until you have to hit the ground running. And then you meet a girl who actually got infected because she couldn't get pads.
My heart, I don't know how I even
managed to contain all these stories.
If I get a DM in my socials that someone is asking for pads, the first thing I'll do, I don't care where you are, I will find a way to get pads to you. That's what I believe in. That's a little, for me, if you ask for a packet of, by the time you even get the courage to come and just say, hey Lorna, I don't have pads, whether you have or not, I'll find a way to get them to you. Absolutely. It should be it's a basic need. It's a right necessity.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, stressing the fact that, by the way, there are so many girls who do not know their rights, so many girls who have been denied their rights. We've talked about, obviously, what poverty is really doing and how it's really churning this wheel. It's heartbreaking to hear what Lorna and the kind of work that she does on ground is like, because you probably don't come face to face with it because you're not the one who's either the community worker. But it's unfortunate to hear the kind of levels or the extent that girls and women will go to just to get sanitary towels. We'd like you to weigh in. We'd also like you to give your comments on some of the things that Lorna has mentioned this morning. If you also do know someone who's in need, she's already mentioned it, she's ready to help, okay? Do you know a community, do you know a school that, by the way, that Lorna and her team can plug into? Use this opportunity to get in touch with us, as well as through our social media platforms. Dan, being my director, I know we have, what, 1 minute or two, but still on that particular point, you know, you're helping us understand the correlation between all this, teenage pregnancies and the lack and period poverty. There's also forced marriages and understanding how gender-based violence comes into this narrative, because perhaps you'd think, okay, how does gender-based violence come about because there's lack of sanitary towels here?
That's quite a very interesting topic. We move into so many things, just even the psychological bit around it, where in society, periods are already a taboo. I don't talk about it. First of all, I don't even want to imagine you as a woman would be on your periods. Or I don't even want to imagine that we are sitting here and you're my wife and you're in your menses. That, to many people in the society, that's a taboo. That's a thing to not want to know. That's actually. That's how I'd probably put it. And when that comes about, resentment comes in. In a home where you're already, that looks like a taboo to talk about. That is that. So you represent that. And then you want to sit next to me, or you want to be, you know, that love person that it won't happen. The next thing is, you probably ask a man in that home, buy me pads, and you get a serious blow. Thank you. How do you make a natural state of a woman's body be so disgusting that it informs all the way to sexual abuse? It informs all the way to beating. So we are good when I'm not on my menses, and then
when I'm on my
when I'm on
menses,
my menses, we are
yeah,
not.
I'm something else.
It doesn't make sense.
I know.
And in most societies, that's a norm.
Yeah.
Even how do you break that? How do you change the mindset of a man to let them know that this is something that is normal?
It's
that
natural,
a
right.
woman goes through it every other month in her life for the rest of probably 40 or 50 years.
Right, right.
Trying to, for me, what I've realized, so many men, even in my company, they had no idea what pads looked like, what
Yeah.
pads meant. And the first thing I made sure is, if you're a man joining our company,
You're right.
learn everything around pads, learn how to take care about for the women
Yeah.
in my company, and make sure that those women don't
Right.
don't go through any problems even during their menses.
Yeah.
It starts there, and then you'll take it back home.
Right. So
Yes.
even understanding the significance
Yes.
of what a sanitary towel is within the community and
Yes.
what it changes is so important. But
Very.
but yeah, I mean, I love what you're actually saying and how you're bringing it out, because if you look at what's happening in that particular household, or the women are told, Kakando,
Yeah.
yes, this is your problem to deal with,
Yeah.
and you're not allowed to mingle.
Yes.
Everything stops around you.
Yes.
Very sad.
More than that,
Yeah.
you have early childhood marriages based off the fact that you've started your periods. It means you're a grown woman. At 10 years, you're shipped to marriage.
Right.
So
This is the thing. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
it's such a catch.
Wow. Let's take that short commercial break. FYI, what we're discussing today, we talked about, or we used the term worldwide. It's very interesting. In other developing countries, even in Asia, you'll be surprised that how women actually consider this as a very unclean state. The mindset that also women have today in developing countries is very surprising when you listen to what caseworkers are dealing with. How you perceive yourself also is something that they are really trying to break through, so that you understand, as a woman, this is a natural, beautiful process that you're going through. But as we take that short commercial break, we'll be sampling some of the feedback that came through on social media once we put up our teaser about today's show. We thank you very much. At K24 TV is how you can reach us. We'll see you in just a sec. Welcome back to the show. Shiko Kaitani here with you as we talk about redefining menstrual dignity. Today, if you don't know, is menstrual hygiene day rather. And so, of course, as we're going with the theme, we're talking about what we need to do, how we can participate as a community, as society, by the way, and in helping girls and women access their right, because it truly is. We're also talking and also shedding some light on some of the horror situations that you actually find on ground. And we have Lorna Joyce, the CEO and co-founder of Binti Marvels, to thank for that, because she's shedding, by the way, light, or at least she's actually painting the picture as is about what typically girls and women are going through just to access sanitary towels. The theme this year is making menstruation a normal fact of life by the year 2030, and we sure hope it is. We want to hear from you. Karibu sana through our WhatsApp number, as you can see on our screen. The text messages have started streaming in. Don't be left out. Thanks so much, Amos from Kisumu, saying it's alarming. 95% of menstruating girls miss 1 to 3 school days. This clearly shows without intervention, the girl child begins to fall behind in school for the days missed. Now imagine those with menstrual disorders. Wow, Amos, I'm even so amazed that you even actually brought up the issue of menstrual disorders. Thank you very much. Well said. Janet Kamau, good morning. These initiatives to supply girls and women with pads make a huge difference as it boosts their confidence. No more embarrassing moments or fear of teasing that happens in schools. Women are shunned for being unclean. Thank you. Lily _M, thank you so much. She goes on to say, happy menstrual hygiene day. Thank you, you too. My call goes out to the devolved units to see that infrastructure and sanitation is provided. Access to water to ensure the hygiene we seek needs to be a priority. Now, these women need water and soap, also waste bins for proper disposal of towels. Lorna, welcome back to the show. See what Kenyans are saying. And you actually just talked about that. Teachers asking you, by the way, please teach the girls how to dispose.
Teach them how to dispose.
Yeah.
Teach them even how to wear a pad.
Yeah.
Because maybe if I may ask, who taught you how to wear a sanitary
Actually, for me, sister. Nice. And I'm thankful that she was there. Big sister.
1 in 10 million.
Right.
Most of us is, okay, so this is a pad. Where do we put it on?
What are these flaps for? Is this the front? Is this,
I'll figure it out as I go.
Right.
And so with that, some of the small things that you find is, if you don't even know how to wear it correctly, it means you wear it front, back, and then it will leak.
Yeah.
So you, in your entire time, you probably think, this pad is bad because, it leaks all the time. And it starts from that age until you get to a point where you see someone else putting it differently. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, so that's how it's worn. That is a teacher who's asking us, who are out of school, to go back and do that kind of teaching to their students. It
also goes to show, perhaps there's a lot of, I don't know, can I say reservedness, or, people who are very conserved as teachers, who are working in this space because they don't know how to manage their girls.
At the same time, women also shun from speaking about it. This is what we say. Periods are a personal thing, right? But I believe you can find a safe space to talk about. We're not saying go out in the streets, start shouting periods, pads. That's not what we're saying.
I wish you saw the guest who was here on Michelle's show. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
It's so personal. But if you find a space where you're with women or men, and it's a place where you can speak so freely, it's good to just have conversations. That's how we as adults, I think, would learn. It's not going to a class and then there's someone coming to do, so today we're learning about menses. It's not that. It's the conversation I have with you. It's a conversation you have with the guys. It's a conversation, you just have anywhere. That's how you get more educated. It's just getting on your phone and, you know, scrolling through things. What is menstrual hygiene? What is menstrual health day? What does that even represent? And you as a woman, these are things you should always strive to know, because it affects you personally. You know?
Of course.
Seeing someone saying water and soap, we think that it's not important. It's not just changing a pad and putting on another. It's understanding that even that pad can give you infections if you stay with it longer. It's understanding, okay, do I bleed heavily, or am I a light flow? So these are things that we also go back to school and teach.
Right.
I don't think there's a set curriculum that is put out that now we have a topic on menstrual health or menstrual hygiene.
Right.
And so when we get teachers asking us for, you know, come back and teach my girls this, it's so beautiful to see.
Wow.
Part of what we do at Binti is the way we give back to charities, NGOs, and, you know, just an individual who wants to donate is when you're buying the pads, we give you, you know, say at a discount, because we understand what it is to give, but at the same time we also emphasize, donate something. If you're a lady, donate something that you could use.
Right.
Because that starts with, I am taking care of the next girl who's going to use a good quality product.
Right.
Because if you love yourself that much, then love the next person that you're going to give something for free.
Absolutely.
At the same time, don't just go and dump stuff there.
Yeah.
Like, you see, I've donated pads, yay, let's clap. It's beyond that. Have you also left this girl knowing that what this quality of a product is, how to use it, how to put it on, how to dispose it.
Right.
Beyond even that, to the person that you're probably donating a pad to, they might not even have an underwear to place it on.
Oh, wow.
So we've had those questions every time you've gotten to a place you're donating and you're like, I've brought you pads for 12 months.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, I'm so grateful for that.
But I don't have.
But where do I put
Right.
it? Then you have to go back again and realize, okay, we need to go get underwears. Then quickly rush and donate.
Yeah.
And then while you're there, it's, okay, so this person also needs to shower, probably even apply lotion or mafuta. Then that forms a whole thing called a dignity kit, where
yes, that's the word. Yeah.
You don't just donate because you're donating, you're also caring for that lady during that time.
Right, so that's the holistic approach to it.
Yes.
Okay, let's just talk about, you know, the effects of this period shaming on girls, on women. What is it doing to them emotionally? What is it doing to them psychologically? You are giving me a story about someone who was in need, and I'd want you to share that with our viewers this morning, just so that you can see what that desperation does to an individual.
Yeah, so there was a lady who came online, excuse me, and she asked if anyone could give her pads. First of all, the courage of coming online to ask for pads, that is another level. That you could ask for school fees, you could ask for probably anything, but by the time you're so vulnerable and saying, I would like someone to help me with pads, that was intense from that point.
Right.
And so some of the people there were like, okay, but where are you? And then there was one who just literally came. And this is someone who's probably fairly known in the public space, and told this lady, why are you disturbing us, asking us for pads? Go ask your boyfriend to buy you pads.
Wow. And this is social media.
That is where everything started trending.
Right.
And it was such a nice gesture from this lady, you know, coming out, and then this other one coming to shame her at the peak where there was such a huge thing on ladies falling pregnant because of pads. And I thought, what is this one saying? Yeah. Because by the time you're asking someone to go to their boyfriend for pads, it means they are at vulnerable level, 100%. So if she goes back, gets pregnant, or gets an infection, or just anything, or that boyfriend does not, you know, support, and then she goes to the next guy or the next person, how have you helped that lady? Yet you're another lady telling your fellow woman. So what is that?
You know, that's the thing. I think sometimes also people just take what's happening on social media as jokes.
What is that?
You know, you take it lightly. You don't think that whatever.
Just
It's
open your mouth
that
and talk it.
serious, you know. But words matter
A lot.
And you know, we were actually discussing this over the break. By the way, why is it that it's women pitting themselves against other women?
Yeah.
I found that very interesting because all the examples you're giving me, it's another woman telling another woman, by the way, ujipange.
Yes.
And it also like got me thinking, for those of us who have domestic managers in our house, you obviously know, by the way, okay, maybe perhaps she does need the work. Then you ask yourself, how many of us go to the extent of asking your domestic manager, by the way,
pads?
Are you okay every month? Do you have pads?
Thank you.
And how many employers will sort out their domestic manager, or do they just tell them, see, I'm already paying you, jipange.
Go and find yourself pads. And then you're using the good quality, and then if you're buying them in the supermarket, you're buying, which one's the cheapest?
Yeah.
Let's get that one that, you know.
Right? By the way.
It starts with women shaming other women.
Right.
And then the men fall in because it's like, okay, they're already beating it themselves. So I might just come and funikia with even more worse comments. It's never, even in schools, the first instance of, now Gopa, I hope I've not messed.
Yeah.
It's you fearing other women or other girls. If you're in a girls' school, they'll be, hey, we're laughing at you because you know, messed your clothes.
Yeah.
It starts from even how you grew up. It starts with even your mother.
Yeah.
How she introduced the whole topic, if you even had a chance. For me, my mom, I remember the first time I was on my menses, my mom was asleep, and I went to her and I told her, it was an afternoon, I told her, I think I have started periods or something is happening.
Yeah, something's happening.
Yeah, showed me, go to the shop, get yourself pads. So we didn't have, she didn't give me money. I went to the shopkeeper and I told her, Mama amesema unipatie pads. I was whispering.
Yeah.
And she says, mkona deni, ende mwambia kupatia pesa.
Oh, jeez.
So I went back to the house. Something is happening.
You're right.
So I ran to her, I'm like, Mom, she said she's not going to give me. And she woke up so angry.
Yeah.
And we went to the shop. And the first thing she did was like, in front of everyone around there, why are you denying my girl pads? And she has just started her period.
Oh my goodness.
Like, okay, but
oh no, yeah.
for me, it was just, let's finish, let's go to the house so that this, whatever this is, I don't.
Because I can imagine for you, you know, you're like, oh my God, can the ground just open up and swallow me? Because now the whole hood is like, oh.
So you just started your periods. Good job.
Yeah.
So you also don't have pads on. So you actually, it was such an embarrassing moment.
Yeah.
To her, maybe she didn't think that was an embarrassing thing.
Yeah. So hizi ni vitu za kawaida kwani. And you know, kwa mtaa, there's nothing for ati unaficha nini.
That was horrendous.
I know, but that's one story out of the millions.
Many.
And there are so many embarrassing moments around it for people.
I can laugh about mine now because that's a thing of the past. But to many others, they have worse horror stories.
Right.
Yes.
I think we've all had the story. I think it was a very sad one from Bomet of a girl who actually died by suicide because of period shaming. And it goes to show you just how it messes with your psyche and what an embarrassing moment can do to someone.
That's on the flip.
Teasing, by the way, and bullying.
Yes,
have very, very serious effects on individuals. So let me ask, where does Binti come in all of this? Because, and I think we need to challenge people who are also in the period product space, right?
Yes.
About how you go about your messaging, right? And how you go about the counseling aspect of it. What can you tell us in terms of how Binti is changing the game to not just provide that quality product, but to also provide the appropriate messaging that goes with the product?
So what I've realized with periods, we've already put it in a construct that, shame, sad, boring, things like that, and don't talk about it. It's, you know, and so with what we actually represented Binti, when we started, we said, if you're going to give someone a quality product that is affordable, even the package and how it looks, it has to be appealing to that lady who's going to pick it up. Women love colors. So how our package looks, it embodies what a woman would feel during when she's on her menses. Beyond even that, for us, we felt the way we approach periods should not be sad, boring, dull. We actually approach it in a bold, fun, and beautiful way.
All right.
That's the 3 pillars that we talk about when, you know, we say what Binti stands for.
Right.
And so when we go to schools to do education, it's not sit down in a class and now we are doing menstrual health education. It's we bring artists, we bring, you know, funny characters, we dance around it, you know, we have songs, we do, it's a whole way of celebrating a woman.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
So that's how we incorporate. So when we're in the mix of, you know, dancing and chatting, then we stop the music and we call some ladies up on the stage and we ask them, do you know how to wear pads? And we have underwears out and you have, you know, pads out. And, you know, we teach them or they show us. If they do it correctly, we reward them with, you know, pads or a prize or something. And that makes the whole school or even the girls around there to feel this is so beautiful. Like it's something to talk about. And I'm okay if she's doing it wrongly, like, no, do it this way. and so it gets everyone involved. At the same time, this generation that's coming up, they don't shy off from anything. And that's the beauty about what we are bringing up versus where we are. So that also challenges me. If I couldn't talk about it now in the space where these people are so open to talk about it, both the girls and the boys, it's so nice to be in that space. That's amazing. It is so different and it's so nice.
I know you can't be everywhere at the same time. So how do you plan on kind of spreading your tentacles, so to speak? Because there's cases that, I mean, you're needed. This is needed everywhere across this country. So what do you have in terms of plans on how to capacity build other individuals so that now they're kind of replicating what you're doing?
What I know is we can't do it alone. First of all, you need both the men, both genders to be on the table to be able to speak about this and to be able to openly share and converse. At the same time, there's already so many individuals who are in this space championing for better menstrual health and awareness and hygiene. So collaborate with those systems, collaborate with charity organizations, collaborate with NGOs and, you know, companies that are at the heart of it, they want to support these people. So if I can't start Binti charity all the way in Kisumu, but there's so many groups that are already there. Sit down, have a conversation, and then support them in the way that you can. Binti is a sanitary pads company first, and then we work together with the tentacles of, you know, whatever is in the counties, whatever is in the different spaces. So that's how I know I can't do it alone. We can't do it alone with the 5 people we are in our office. But we can do it if, you know, we join hands the different
And this
groups.
is great because you've technically answered my next question, which is about, can this be done by just one sector, or you need a multi-sectoral approach to this so that we're doing everything holistically? You need someone who's dealing in sanitation, you need someone who's dealing in waste management. You know, you need all these players to come together.
It's such a dynamic, it's not just one thing, it's so dynamic. You can't do it alone. I'll even just start by probably something so simple. For you, how do you view panty liners? Yes. How do you view panty liners? Is it a luxury? Is it an everyday use? And where do you place them in your mind?
Actually, for me, I would look at it as a luxury product because, to be honest, I mean, really, it's it's a cut above the rest, you know?
Panty liners are a necessity. They're supposed to be worn every day. If you're using something every day, what does that mean?
It's an essential.
It's an essential. They are highly, highly taxed. Pads are not taxed. They are tax exempt. So if you're telling someone that panty liners are worn every day, pads are worn during a certain time of the month, and you're already taxing one of the things that they should be using every day, for a woman that becomes a luxury.
Right.
For me, that is something that I want to even champion further. That when I talk about the different aspects of who can come in to support,
Right.
even just the legislative arm of it, the portable bills in parliament.
Right.
You championed for one thing, but this other small thing that we think that's a luxury. No, it's not. We use panty liners on a day. That should be something that you add onto the tax-free bracket, so that when a woman gets, you're not just taking care of that woman during periods.
Yeah.
You're taking care of her throughout.
Throughout.
So if she's using this products throughout, then just make all of it, you know.
Right.
So that's one that you need to have to sit down with and talk about. And
yeah, policy change.
Thank you.
You're right. And that's a huge aspect, because the people who are developing these laws, right, are the same people who will enable things to function the way they do, or not.
Yes.
But at the same time, we can force the legislators to listen by public opinion.
Yes.
And so this is now, as we're winding up, you come in to challenge us as the public on what more we can do. So how do you want us to plug in, even if it's not a Binti in their area code, what can we do as a public so that we can actually ensure that we are seeing more success stories when it comes to menstrual health and hygiene?
Highlight the good that is done by people out there. Keep supporting. I think the bare minimum is, when you see someone do something good for the other in the smallest way, keep supporting, keep, you know, cheering them, because by the time someone is waking up and putting their lifeline that this is how I'm going to always support maybe women with menstruation, they have really sat down and thought about everything in their life.
Right.
I left my job. I used to be in the airline industry for the past 11 years. That was an amazing job.
Right.
I didn't have to think about, you know, another woman who's suffering because of pads, until I was thrust into this space and I realized I could give my last coin to support another woman.
Oh, wow.
And so keep cheering on those people who are doing so much.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lorna.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking time to be here with us this morning.
Thank you.
You've done well. What an amazing speaker she is. And we want to wish you all the best and our love to everyone at Binti. Remember, there are so many ways to plug into this space, and you can help a girl, help a woman out there by simply plugging into these initiatives that are going on ground to ensure that we are seeing girls menstruate with dignity. A big thank you to the CEO and co-founder of Binti Marvels, Lorna Joyce, for joining us this morning, and even to you for sticking with us. We hope that this particular conversation has been thought-provoking, okay? That you'll actually get to work on it. Let's leave it there and wish you a great day up ahead. I'm Shiko Kaitani. Coming up next is the duo of Interactive, taking a look at what's trending on social media. Bye-bye.